challenges and setbacks. The loss of his wife and several children deeply affected him, casting a shadow over his later years. He passed away on October 18, 1871 in London, leaving behind a rich legacy of innovation and intellectual curiosity. Charles Babbage's legacy reverberates through the annals of scientific history. His pioneering work laid the foundation for modern computing and revolutionized various fields, from mathematics to engineering. His vision concepts continue to inspire a generation of scientists and engineers, underscoring his enduring impact on the world. Today, Babbage is remembered as a trailblazer whose contribution have shaped the course of technological advancement. That's it on the Icon of the Week today. I remain Aisha Hussein.
That was the Icon of the Week segment. We celebrate the great polymath, the British, computer scientist, mathematician, Charles Babbage, popularly known as the father of computer. I'm sure a lot of us must have heard of that name, probably while we were young in primary school or secondary school when we were just learning about computer. You're told that the father of computer is Charles Babbage. All right, so right now I will move into the School in Focus segment, and I have in the house Precious Adesanya making a comeback after a long while. Hello, Precious.
Hello, Doctor.
You're welcome to Education Today again.
Thank you.
All right, so let's have the School in Focus segment.
Good afternoon and welcome to the School in Focus segment, where we take a look at institutions of interest, provide a background to the establishment, the administration, and some notable alumni. I am Adesanya Oluwatamilore Precious. Our School in Focus today is the Nigerian University of Technology and Management. The Nigerian University of Technology and Management, NUTM, is a pioneering higher education initiative to identify and train the next generation of leaders in technology and management for Africa. It is a world-class institution for higher education focused on nurturing leaders for Nigeria and Africa. The NUTM was granted an official university license in 2023 by the Federal Executive Council, FEC. The approval followed the recommendation of the National University Commission, NUC, the apex regulator responsible for assessing and recommending the establishment of all higher education institutions offering degree programs in Nigeria. Babs Omotonwa, founding president of NUTM, said the license and program accreditation underscores the institution's commitment to bringing academic excellence and a cutting-edge science and a technology ecosystem to Africa. The flagship program of NUTM is the NUTM Scholars Program, NSP, which was launched in 2020. The NUTM Scholars Program, NSP, is a one-year full-time interdisciplinary postgraduate program in technology, entrepreneurship, and design. During the program, scholars will learn and study concepts in technology, entrepreneurship, and design, management, and leadership. The NSP intends to groom stellar young leaders from a diverse range of background across Africa to be a change agent for the region and the world. Through these flagship initiatives, NUTM hopes to nurture leaders in technology and businesses, solving for the growing need in the region for transformative leadership education. This NSP is a fully funded residential program that selects 60 exceptionally young individuals from Nigeria and other regions of Africa through a rigorous selection process. The Nigerian University of Technology and Management, NUTM, is a world-class institution for higher education focused on nurturing leaders in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, and management in Africa. For Africa, NUTM aims to become a hub for the best-in-class talent from Nigeria and the African continent. NUTM is dedicated to driving excellence in fields critically to Nigeria and Africa's development and envisions a future where promising African youth are equipped with world-class education. NUTM continues to strive for excellence in technology and management and become a hub for best-class learning and research. It will focus on areas in science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and management in its academic offerings at the undergraduate, postgraduate, and doctoral levels. In the next 10 years, NUTM aspires to be among the top 5 universities in Africa and the best in the world. That's on our school and focus segment. I remain Adeson Yolu Atamilore Precious. Education Today continues in a moment. Please stay with us.
You are still on to Education Today on Lights Radio, and we are moving into the discuss segment. And our guest is here with us. We are discussing the payment of withheld salaries of university lecturers, imperatives for industrial harmony. Again, we are discussing the payment of withheld salaries of university lecturers, imperatives for industrial harmony. During the week, the federal government of Nigeria released withheld salaries of federal university lecturers. 4 months out of the withheld 7.5 months owed were released by the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, following the decision by the administration of former President Muhammadu Buhari as a result of the strike embarked upon by members of the academic staff in universities in 2022. However, despite this release, there are still fears that the union might still embark on industrial actions over outstanding salaries and possibly other issues. All right, so joining us to discuss this today, we have a researcher and lecturer at the University of Lagos, Department of Employment Relations and Human Resource Management, Mr. Taofeek Ido. Good afternoon, sir, and welcome to Education Today.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
All right, it's a pleasure to have you here. For our listeners, you can be part of this discourse by sending your comments and questions to 0809-738-4000, 0809-738-4000, or drop your comments via the live video feeds on Facebook and YouTube. So before moving into discuss proper, our short quiz question: who is regarded as the father of computer? Who is regarded as the father of computer? If you actually listened to Icon of the Week for today, we talk about who the father of computer is. So you can send your answer to the WhatsApp number 0809-738-4000 or our Facebook or YouTube page. The first correct answer wins the prize. So we are moving to the discourse proper now. So firstly, probably let me ask that. Okay, I will need you to confirm the news of the payment of the withheld salaries to academics in Nigerian federal universities. How true is this, and have you actually been paid?
Yes, I've been paid 4 months out of the 7.5 months.
So, okay, how do you feel with this payment? Because I know quite well, this time someone was saying, "Oh, this is oxygen." So, probably, how do you feel with this, payment?
It's actually a mixed feeling.
Mixed feelings. Wow.
Yes.
In what sense?
I'm excited. At the same time, I'm kind of sad because considering the purchasing power of money, that money is cannot really go a long way. But I'm excited because if government had decided not to pay, there's nothing we can do. Absolutely. So at least we can offset some of the outstanding bills we have, some of the debts we have at hand. So in a way, it's in between.
All right, I like that. But then, like you say, that one critical thing which we cannot shy away from is the fact that the naira has lost over 60% of its purchasing power, and that's quite ridiculous, absolutely. And for the fact that you're talking about a 2022 payment, now the worth of probably even 100,000 naira in 2022, now probably only worth around 40,000 naira now.
Exactly.
So it's just ridiculous. But anyhow, all right. So now that the government was able to do this, probably let me ask: has this renewed your hope in this government in improving the fortunes of education in Nigeria?
In terms of education, I think it's no. Of course, in terms of perhaps in terms of let's say they yielded to the pressure of having to pay part of the outstanding salary. I think in a way, let's say 0.005% increase in hope, but to a large extent, going forward, I've not seen any near sites that things will be drastically done with the education sector.
But they talk about like student loan, increased budgetary allocation to education. They released about 683 billion naira this year as third fund intervention fund or something thereabout. So what do you say to this? Because we're talking about, at least they talk about renewed hope. Although some people are saying this is renewed Shege Pro Max. So but then
I understand.
Looking at it education wise, at least one way or the other. And now for the fact that the former administration that failed to pay these outstanding salaries, and this one came in now, one way or the other, at least has paid part of it. So does this not rekindle at least hope to some extent?
For as far as Nigeria is concerned, we always had this kind of something. Though this administration actually increased the budget as far as this year is concerned, but in the past we usually have something of this nature, and the challenge has always been implementation. Having to use the money effectively and wisely to get what we really needed in the education sector. So it is not enough for us to have such huge amount of money in the budget. How do we translate that to the real meaningful impact? The student loan, yes, they said they've approved some billions of naira, yet we've not seen that being implemented. So I believe it will involve a lot of structures, but we want to believe that there is an ongoing plan to ensure that those things are implemented. But it's almost getting too late for Nigerians to bear as far as some of these things are concerned.
Because already we've even gone past the February 21 date that was given for the launch of the student loan. Unfortunately, this week we actually didn't hear anything concerning it. Honestly.
So we want to believe that they are doing something right behind there, but it's unfortunate that you have to get to this level. Ordinarily, we are supposed to finalize that even before this time, so that an average Nigerians can at least survive. Especially for those who cannot afford the
incremental school fees
and all. So,
okay. Now, with the release of at least the 4 months out of the 7.5 months, withheld salaries, has there been probably an official position from ASU, concerning this? Has there been an official reaction from ASU?
Yes, I think just yesterday, the zonal, or what's it called, branch, the Lagos branch had press yesterday, regards to issues of industrial conflicts. One of those things they mentioned was this outstanding withheld salary, and to them, they felt that there's nothing to be excited about.
Wow.
That there are other burning issues that government needs to attend to. That it's quite unfortunate that get to this level before they could do something, and perhaps the body language is also showing that government would have paid up to 7.5 that were withheld. I think that's the body language.
Okay. Now, with this payment, can we say categorically that the government has been able to douse tension in the universities? Because before now, earlier this month, we had the chief of staff to the president, Femi Gbajabiamila, saying that they would, do all that is possible to prevent probably ASU from going on another strike. So with this kind of payment, is this part of what they are trying to use to probably douse tension in the universities concerning this report of, a looming strike by ASU?
Exactly. From the government perspective, I think they are doing that to actually curb or to stop such a strike action. But from the perspective of the ASU, it does not. That is just a
tip of the
iceberg. A drop in the
ocean.
In the ocean.
Wow.
So we are not near it. We are not near at all. So it will not in any way douse the current tension.
So invariably there are outstanding issues according to ASU.
Yes.
So what are some of these? Probably can you share some of these outstanding issues? Because a lot of Nigerians, I know, a lot of students, with what you're saying, a lot of them are already apprehensive that. So you mean we might still actually have to go on another strike? So are there outstanding issues that government really needs to address?
Yes.
And so please probably share some of these issues.
Yes, there are outstanding issues. But I will need to analyze it in this manner. There are issues that they are legally that can be legally pursue or regarded as right disputes, and there are some issues that are interest disputes in industrial relations.
Okay.
So there are some issues that yes, ASU can pursue those issues is very legal. While there are some issues that are secondary to the core objective of a workers' union, like ASU. So one part of the issues they highlighted. One, let's start from those ones that we feel is a core objective of academic staff union of university. One of them, the major one is this increment in salary, particularly the 2009 agreement. Can you imagine? It's almost 15 years now that an agreement has been signed by government that they are going to be reviewing our salary
every 5 years.
Every 4 years. What I saw in that
wow.
Press conference was 4 years. I used to think it was even 3 years. So, and nothing tangible has been done about that. So, for years, lecturers.
So over 11 years, outstanding renegotiation that should have been held.
Exactly. So I think there's only one time that the past president, which is Jonathan, had to do a little of his part. But ever since then, it has been back and forth between ASU and federal government. So another issue that is very germane that ASU is bringing to the table is the issue of academic allowance. So any academic allowance is actually payment as a result of workload that the lecturers are involved in, which is quite very important. The only thing is that the process and the way government and ASU is going to go about that is what we are not clear about. Because if you are talking about an academic allowance, it means that you are saying that yes, I'm doing so A and B that is beyond my normal job description.
Okay.
So if as members of ASU we are doing that, so how do government quantify on their end or verify what each and everybody is doing to say that yes, we are going to pay so amount of money
for this particular activity or task?
Exactly, and that calls my attention to the aspect that ASU usually fight for, which I feel is outside the primary core mandate of a union, which is the aspect of financial autonomy
for the university.
So ASU has been fighting for financial autonomy of the university. It might sound right, but at the end of the day, the institution is owned by government. and government appointed the vice chancellor and the councils to
run
be-
the universities.
to run the university. So it is a primary objective of the representative of government to feel that the only way we can run this institution effectively is actually to have this financial autonomy. So what ASU can do is to serve as pressure group, or to, like, the press conference they are giving at every intervals, to write about it. But it should not be the major focus of industrial action. As far as we are concerned, it's quite unfortunate that.
So it should have been probably something that should be taken up by the university administrators or the councils themselves with government. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly, because look, just another instance is the issue of funding of the university or the higher institution. The reality is that these are core mandate of the representative of government, which is the vice chancellor and the councils. If, for instance, now you have been appointed by your employer to represent me in a particular thing, and I feel that what you are giving me is not enough to run this business, it's my duty to go back to my employer
to
say
that
I need more money to take care of things like this so that we can run the university effectively. But ASU has been trying as much as possible to really put his effort in what I feel is not a primary objective of a workers' union. For instance, like in industrial relations, we have 2 or 3 categories of issues. We have what they call national issues, we have what they call industrial issues, and we have what they call local issues.
Okay.
If you are talking about infrastructure of the education system, it's a national issue, not an industrial issue.
Okay.
ASU as a union represents the industrial issues, while NLC and TUC represent national issues.
Okay.
So ASU emphasizing on infrastructure and taking that as a basis of going for industrial actions is as good as say ASU is acting like NLC education part of the union.
Part of NLC.
So,
So but then, would you say now that, okay, because I'm looking at it on that part, do you think an NLC will take up such an assignment? One. Then number 2 is the fact that if you say that's not within the core mandate of ASU, bear in mind that if probably not for the pressure by ASU, even this intervention funds that is eventually coming from TED fund, even the idea of TED fund in itself came, out of from ASU struggles. Part of it is also the fact that the intervention funds eventually released because this needs assessment that was conducted by the federal government was a result of pressure from ASU. So probably we are saying that if not for ASU, probably many of our universities would not be anything other than glorified secondary schools. So if probably the university administrators or even the NLC, the bigger, labor center that should advocate, these issues for the general well-being of the masses, are not doing it, and ASU decides to take it up. And ASU being an affiliate of NLC, is it not also for us to also conclude probably that is NLC also doing it using the platform of ASU?
Yes, it's like I used to say, it's quite unfortunate that the way we do things in Nigeria, we don't follow the rules of law. We tend to do things in our own way without taking into cognizance our basic rules.
Okay.
Let me take an instance. The issue of no work, no pay that led to 2022 strike.
Yes.
At a point, Sarah, socio-economic accountability project, I did about 4 or 5 students and went to court to sue the federal government that you are making things difficult. Our students are suffering because of this strike. That you need to, respond to the request of ASU. And the court ruled that you can't present a case where you don't have a reasonable interest.
Whoa.
Because it is simple an employment contract between the employer and the employee. And ASU is an association of workers, academic workers.
Yes.
So it is simply a workers thing. If you are not employed there, you cannot become a union, a member of a union.
Yeah.
So the reality is that now as a workers association, what are your core mandates? Your core mandate is to to cater for the welfare of your members. And that's your core mandate.
Is that not part of sorry, probably let me just take it because I want us to just take it short because of time. That is it not part of the core mandate of the welfare of workers for them to say that we need a conducive environment to work? How will a lecturer work if the class is not conducive, if the laboratories are non-existent, if the salaries are not even paid, as I went due, and even the students you're teaching don't have conducive environment for them to even work or conduct exams or some of these experiments and things like that.
Yes, part of the there's something called statute law and common law. Part of the common law is that employer provide a safe working environment for its employee.
Absolutely.
Which is very fine. And looking at it, really, one will also say that yes, because if you don't have a conducive environment, you'll be able to work effectively, which is very fine.
Yeah.
But like I said, if you look at it critically very well, like I said, it's not as if ASU cannot intervene in all of this, but it should be at a level, at a secondary level, and it should not be a business for going for industrial action. So that's my concern.
Okay.
Because when you look at it holistically, it's as good as say, yes, I have a private business, I employ some employee, and my employer feels that okay, this is what the things I can give you for you to work.
Okay with it.
They're okay with it.
Stay.
Still stay. It's about offer and acceptance. So it will be illogical to say that if your employer is giving your salary and you are getting your salary as at when due, and you begin to say that you want to leave your job or you want to go for strike because customers are not satisfied with the services provided by the organization.
Okay.
So I think that's the logic.
Okay.
So within the infrastructure that we're talking about, ASU need to properly draw a line to say, yes, this is our concern. Yes, our offices are not fine. Some of the equipment that we need offices.
Okay.
So this will be the arguments. These are call to our own welfare.
Okay.
Because as far as the issue of
students
infrastructure is concerned, funding of the university system, like I said, it's a national issue.
So it's beyond the
ASU
scope
can
of
act, yes. ASU can be talking as a parent. Like I said, ordinarily, it's as good as the NLC and the TUC do not, or perhaps they fail to understand what the nature of what their responsibilities are. It should be part of their own core mandate because it's a national issue.
Okay.
The entire federal university are saying that our infrastructures are not fine.
Yeah.
So these are the things that the NSA and TUC are supposed to take up. Why also focus on how to get
the
welfare of its member?
Okay.
Once you are disengaged in the university, you're not more a member of ASU. So ASU can be arguing on the basis of yes, we are also parents, and NSA and TUC can be pushing for the fact that yes, at the national level, we need to fight this. You need to provide the proper infrastructure for the universities.
So invariably, you're saying that
some
of the grounds, some of these outstanding issues now that ASU is talking about. So there are some that could warrant a strike, and there are some that are not even justiciable that probably should even warrant the idea of probably calling for a strike in the
Exactly. Look, let's take for instance the last time that the issue of syrup and taking students to court. Immediately, I think the federal government were they were just very smart with the Minister of Employment and Labor then. Immediately they noticed that they went to court. And it's normal for anybody who is going to court to say, yes, this is what I feel, the other party is not doing right. So it depends on you to now defend all of those. So they went to court and they brought out the issue of no work, no pay. The court ruled uphold that position that once you go on strike, you don't deserve it. And the second issue, which I feel is a soft landing for ASU, the issue of IPs. Yes, we have issues with IPs. Yes. A lot of ups and downs with IPs. But the reality is that technically,
ASU cannot dictate.
It can't dictate
to its employer.
And I usually
payment platform, right?
On several platforms, I usually tell people that, see, despite the fact that the court is saying that, even the court said that because some people felt that yes, this is a win for ASU. The court is saying that ruling is saying that for you to decide the payment method, that it should be left between the governing council of the universities and their kind of. It shows that the governing council also is a representative of the government. So it shows that no employer will in any way say he wants to hand over his power, his prerogative power, to the employee. It's not possible. So ASU needs to understand that yes, you are an employee and a workers' union, and you should try as much as possible to draw a line between issues you are going to present for industrial actions at any point in time. Okay. And I understand the fact that ASU has been trying to say yes, we are going for vitalization of the university system, funding, and all of this just to seek public sympathy. But at the end of the day, the public will say to say your loan is too much, you are overdoing it, we are tired, you need to stop this and all of that. Even if you don't get those salaries, we don't mind.
Okay, fine. So invariably, so ASU should just focus on its the welfare of its members.
Exactly.
So whether the institutions actually properly get the necessary infrastructure or not, that should not be the business of ASU.
However, it could be the business of ASU calling the attention of government.
If you have a government that is recalcitrant and does not listen to anything,
you can have a press conference to hammer a lot of this issue. You can discuss with the NLC and TUC to include all of this.
Okay, in their struggles.
It's their struggles.
Okay, fine. So now that you're saying that, okay, there are issues that ASU can say, yes, these are valid grounds for strike.
Yes.
And we also have those other ones that probably are not valid for strike. Now, people even often ask the question that,
yes,
of what's the effectiveness of the use of, even the strike with the government, especially when you have a government that probably will not listen. Imagine for almost 8 months, the government did not listen. So, what other options do you think university academics can adopt to pressure the government in doing the needful? Because you're talking about, for instance, the funding of education, the provision of necessary infrastructure, the issue of financial or university autonomy and things like that. Because these are even laws that the federal government itself passed. They are acts of the National Assembly saying that this is how some of this institutions should be run. There are governing councils. The government will just wake up one day and just sack anybody like that without even looking at the term or the tenure of the office for that council to really do its work. So these are some of the outstanding issues. So I wouldn't know if at all you as an employment relation expert, you have other options that I think ASU can explore in dealing with the government.
I think all of these issues are quite connected. And it is quite unfortunate that the state are the highest employer of labor, and at the same time they are the regulator of employment relationship.
Unfortunately.
So government, they are employer, and at the same time they are the regulators. And for as far as they are concerned, as political elites, they will never make law that will make them at the disadvantage of their own interest. So they always make law that will be at their own interest. So it also calls to the attention of our union that for over 14 years, since 2009, an agreement has not been honored the way it was supposed to be honored. So what have we been doing to ensure those things are being done? It came clearly based on the last strike we had that this time around the law is clear. When you go on strike, you won't receive salary. It's clear. There's nothing you can do about it. It's a privilege.
The strike now. So what should be done?
So for me, in my own opinion,
government has been written to. The ASU has addressed press conferences. They've done protests. Yeah, the government has not listened.
So that's why I said it's very logical. Those issues are logically connected. First, you need to streamline. What are your core objectives? What are your core mandates?
Okay.
Yes, that's the first thing. The next thing that I feel you can do, which it can be a combination with what ASU has been doing, which perhaps has not really been worked apart from the strike, is the aspect of lobby, social dialogue, and all of that. Is that since 2009, if you are taking the issue of 2009 agreement, which is the right dispute, there's no court you take this to that you won't get a positive judgment. If you take that issue to the courts and say yes, and a particular agreement was made in 2009, it has not been honored. From there till now, are you saying we won't get a better judgment on that? So what I feel is that
we've really not tested.
We've not tested it. What we are supposed to do is let's go to industrial court. There are core things that they are clear that there's no way we're going to get breach of contract. It's a right dispute thing. When you breach it, you definitely
can even get damages for the breach for the number of years.
Exactly. I was surprised when federal government took us to court and we begin to defend what federal government is saying. So I expect that immediately that happened and they give us that judgment. I expect that we are supposed to come up with our own fresh case and take it to court. That these are the things that we feel government are not doing, and so on and so forth.
Till date.
But unfortunately, with due respect to Mr. Falana SAN, the next thing I saw was that it was taking, they filed another suit to say that some persons were giving salary in Anambra State, they are medical practitioners, because NAMDAS and all of that, and because of that, the federal government is discriminating against some members of ASU. Immediately I saw that thing, I know that this is illogical. Immediately I saw that thing, I know that you can't get a positive judgment out of this, and that was what happened at the end of the day.
It was dismissed.
Because the logical thing is that you cannot argue over discrimination for what you don't have right over. Giving you salary, government saying that
during strike,
giving you salary is a privilege, not your right.
Okay, so
how can I argue for discrimination over what you don't have right over?
Okay, all right.
So what I say is that government should, ASU, basic issues that are fundamental to ASU.
Okay.
Let's take it to court. Another time, continue to pursue it with lobby. Because the reality is that if you say yes, we're going for industrial action and say let us go on strike, we won't get salary.
Okay, fine. Let us leave strike now, because I know, and I believe, I know a lot of ASU members will disagree with you and will come for you. That what do you mean? You are even castigating your union, or you're saying that?
I'm saying
no. You see, I love the fact that you have been objective and you're being sincere.
Morally,
and no, minus even the issue of morality. You're talking about the law here.
Yes,
and we have to, be positive and be sincere, be objective about it. Whether we are the victim or we are actually the offender, the law is the law.
The law is the law.
That is it. All right. So, but looking at the current economic hardship in the country, and I want to believe there is no segment of society that is not affected.
True.
In what ways do you think this has actually affected university lecturers, and what would you recommend for your colleagues at this moment? Because a lot of people are already thinking, if this is where it is, then I don't think I need to stay here anymore. So, what would you recommend actually?
It's quite difficult because it's almost, for instance, I remember when we got this job, and one of my lecturers said, welcome to another national service. So, and presently is actually extreme national service, or what I would call paid volunteer job, because the salary is not commensurate to the value you are giving at all.
It's ridiculous.
It's very ridiculous. So I think what we advise anyone in the academic setting is to do pursue a side hustle that is within the law. That's what that is legal, that the university allows to be combined with the job. Or better still, for a serious paradigm shift, the best thing you can do, if you cannot do that, you say yes, find a better job that can pay you as much as you can.
All right. So we have been listening to, you are listening to Education Today on Live Radio, and we've been discussing payment of withheld salaries of university lecturers, imperatives for industrial harmony. And we have Mr. Taufik Idowu, lecturer in the Department of Employment Relations and Human Resource Management, University of Lagos, as our guest discussant. Don't forget, you can be part of this discourse by sending your comments, questions, and contributions. You can reach us via Facebook through www.facebook.com/Light Radio. You can also send or call us via SMS or WhatsApp on 0809 738 4000, 0809 738 4000. A reminder of our short quiz: who is regarded as the father of computer? Send your answer to the WhatsApp number 0809 738 4000 or our Facebook or YouTube page. The first correct answer wins the prize. All right. So very quickly, so the way it is now, how do you think we can achieve industrial harmony on Nigerian university campuses? Because what your view is quite different from the view of many members of ASU. And at the same time, the government also does not seem to really understand what exactly ASU is fighting for. All that government itself probably is not even considered to be sincere with the funding and management of education in Nigeria, public education to be precise. So how do you think we can achieve industrial harmony on our campuses?
It's simple, and at the same time it's difficult. It's simple if we are ready to honor agreement and be sincere with whatever agreement we are coming up with. So, and it's hard if you are not sincere, if you don't have the willpower to do what we are supposed to do. Because I can imagine since 2009, an agreement has been made, collective agreement, and yet nothing has been done. And the recent one that we had very close was a wage award. So, an industrial relations, based on our constitutions and being a signatory to ILO conventions, to collective bargaining and collective agreement, and fundamental right to all of that, you don't give wage award as a government. You negotiate and decide that yes, let us come to a point to say yes, this is what we're ready to accept. So despite the wage award, we've not even seen anything. So the only way to ensure industrial harmony is for government to do the needful, because they are the regulator.
And what exactly is the needful here?
It's to ensure the necessary agreements. We don't need to go on strike. There's no need for press conference for a government that is responsive, that is very sensitive. You don't need press conference. You don't need so much before you know that this is your responsibility. So, if government are doing what they are supposed to do, I'm very sure there will be industrial harmony. Because as far as academic staff union of universities are concerned, they are the receiving end. And if they do it wrong, if the government is doing it wrong, they are the receiving end. They are the receiving end. They are doing it right, they also are the receiving end. So, and the way, like I said, they are the employer and at the same time the regulator. They have actually structured the laws in such a way that
it is favor of the government.
It's favor of the government. Except perhaps that's why ASU usually use this current approach of constantly trying to put a lot of pressure and all of that, and not go through the court and all of that. But
because they know the government might not even obey the court.
Might not obey the court.
So now, apart from the government now, are there other people that could actually that have a role to play in ensuring industrial harmony on campuses?
As far as I'm concerned, in the past, also I've involved a lot of people to ensure industrial harmony, and that's not been working. So I think the bulk of it still falls on the table of the government.
All right.
So
okay. So now, because I'm trying to look at this now.
Okay.
There was this particular report that just came out from the ASU president saying that a professor in a Nigerian university now earns less than $200 as monthly salary, going by the current exchange rate of over 1,900 to $1. So, should we price remuneration in dollars, or what would make a competitive wage for an academic in a Nigerian university?
Yes, is not far from the reality that we need to take dollar into cognizance when we are talking about salary, because Nigeria, we are not yet there in terms of industrialization, so we are more of an importing nation. Okay. We import most of our goods, and often
activities are labor
intensive, and sometimes most of these transactions are done in dollars. So to a large extent, it will affect a lot of things in our economy as far as the dollar is concerned. So it's good that we're taking dollar into consideration when we want to determine our wage.
Okay.
And of course, other factors are also very, very, very key in this regard.
Okay. Yeah. On a final note now, because as we round off, what recommendation do you have for current academics in the university or aspiring academics, someone who is looking towards that, I also want to become a lecturer, with respect to, working within the Nigerian public university system and seeing all these things happening, the way government is treating, academics, and the way even the society is treating them. All you people know is just strike, without even trying to look at, we are trying to ensure that the right things are done and that universities are places of, envy, that you can say, yes, this is our own Harvard, this is our own Oxford, and things like that. So let us have Nigerian universities that you can even have foreigners trying to come in, because now we don't even have them. So what advice or what message do you have for current and aspiring academics?
Like I said earlier, it's really difficult to actually give advice, because even some of our students are not even motivated to say I want to become a lecturer like you or something. So it's quite difficult. The only thing I see is if you have a passion for this job, it goes a long way to sustain you on this journey. And you should take it as national service, extreme national service, and volunteer job, so to say, volunteer paid job, in quotes.
Wow.
Because what is on ground now is not something really motivating. Some person said something that sometimes when your passion is not paying your bills, your basic needs, so you might need to pursue something else so that perhaps later you can come back to pursue your passion. So currently it's really hard to give anybody advice to say come to the academic setting. It's very hard because what is currently in the university system is, in terms of welfare of academic staff, is nothing to really write home about. So if that person is willing to bear some of those challenges and out of nationality, and also to add value to the nation, it's fine. But if you're thinking that coming to the academic setting to make a lot of money or something,
to really earn a living,
any living,
meaningful living,
it's not it's not something you can say you want to consider in the long run. But we really hope that this government do something meaningful with the education system across across board rather. I hope they do something meaningful so that the little individual hope we are trying to manage within ourselves can actually be renewed.
All right. Thank you very much. This is, where we'll actually drop, curtains on the discuss segment. It's been a wonderful time. We love the insight and we appreciate all that you have said and the ideas that you have given on this program today. So we've had, Mr. Taufik Idowu, an employment relations expert and a lecturer with the University of Lagos Department of Employment Relations and Human Resources Management, taking us through. We discussed, the payment of withheld salaries of university staff, lecturers, and imperatives for industrial harmony on Nigerian campuses. So this is how far we'll be able to go, and this is your second time on this show.
Yes.
Thank you very much for all the insights that you've always shared. We appreciate it and we appreciate the comment.
Yeah,
I hope that anytime that we'll call on you, you'd oblige us with your presence. Thank you very much. All right. So very quickly, we go into the words on the marble segment. You're welcome to the words on the marble segment of education today, where we take a look at memorable quotes that are educational and inspirational to everyone. Today we have a quote from Right Honorable Lord Denning. According to him, education is important to equip the child for life, to read, to write, to think, to appreciate values, to give him the skills he needs. So it has a vital place. Again, education is important to equip the child for life, to read, to write, to think, to appreciate values, to give him the skills he needs. So, education has a vital place. That is words on the marble, according to Right Honorable Lord Denning. So, as a society, it is our duty to provide education for all citizens with the right quality and quantity. I hope the government, would follow that quote. All right, so that's our word on the marble for today. Right now, we asked for the quiz during the quiz segment that who is regarded as the father of computer, and we have different responses to that question. I have here on Facebook, someone said, "Oh, Bill Gates." Sorry, it's not Bill Gates. It's not Bill Gates. Bill Gates is actually not the one regarded as the father of computer. The father of computer actually is Charles Babbage, the British polymath, a great mathematician and computer scientist, Charles Babbage, who developed what we call the analytical engine, and that was a precursor to what we know as computer today. So Charles Babbage is the father of computer. He actually worked with Ada Lovelace. All right, so Charles Babbage is the answer to that question. So from Facebook, which I can access here, it's not, Bill Gates. So I don't have it. Do we have any other, do we have? Okay, all right. So we don't have a winner for today. All right. So just to inform you, esteemed listeners, that you can sponsor this program, and at the same time you can advertise your products and services and also showcase your events on our program. This you can do by calling the number 0702502 4268 2507 4268 0702507 4268, or you call the number 0703 953 8998 0703 953 8998. Thank you very much for joining us today. Let us know how you feel about today's program through our various platforms. You can reach us on this program through www.facebook.com/education today. You can also send an email to educationmediaservices@gmail.com, educationmediaservices@gmail.com. Again, we'll dedicate today's episode to the memory of our father, Alhaji Kamaruddin Afunleyin, who died on Thursday and has since been buried according to Islamic rites. His daughter, Rashida Damilola Afunleyin, is one of our crew members. So we pray for his repose. And like we also said, we also dedicate the episode to all children grieving the loss of their parents. May God forgive the dead and protect and take care of the living. May God grant the family members the fortitude to bear this irreparable loss. Dami, our hearts are with you and your family at this trying moment. All right, many thanks to the entire crew of Education Today and the management of Lights Radio. With many special thanks to T-Wise and Feishayo, who have been in the control room, making this possible for you. And many thanks to our supervising producer, Sahida Remu, as well as Nima Ibrahim, who are on the socials for today. All right, so many thanks to you all for being a part of this. Let's make it a date next week when we'll be coming with a refreshing package of Education Today. Till then, I remain OLUBUNMI KAZEEM. See you next week.